Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I'm going to give you guys a quick update on the Iraqi Dinar. Now, there has been a lot of news concerning the Iraqi Dinar. First, that Iraq will be able to settle payments in the Chinese yuan. And then, of course, we have seen a dinar type of revaluation where it went from 1,460 dinars per dollar to 1,310 dinars per dollar. And also, too, along with that, you get a lot of the fake intel providers that have just come out the woodworks again. And, you know, one of the things is that the Dinar community still hasn't learned its lesson. And I'm going to touch on that because, you know, it's amazing that people are still falling for the old dinar tricks and trickery and getting people to send their dinars and getting people to believe this intel that is just floating out there. Now, before I go any further, folks, I am not a financial advisor. I am just sharing information, giving you my thoughts and my opinions on that information. And if you guys like these videos that I make, the support links are down below in the description and also the About section of YouTube. Now, also, I am not affiliated with any online currency exchange. I know that people will ask me where to buy them from. Now, I don't recommend, first of all, buying from eBay at this time until the online currency exchanges no longer have dinars. It's a last resort. And I'll touch on that a little bit later. But for those of you who are in the United States and its territories, plus New Zealand and Australia, the links to those sites are down below in the description and also the comment section. Now, if you live outside of those areas, the way that you can check to see if you can purchase dinars is first to go to your local bank, then go to your local currency exchange. And also, too, you can check the airport currency exchanges as well. And then if that doesn't work, then try searching online. And, you know, when you type in Google, it's going to try to pull up any businesses for the country that you live in that will supply the currencies that you are looking for. Just a little background. I purchased my first Iraqi dinar in 2009. So for the longest time, especially between 2009 and 2014, I was very heavily involved in the Dinar community. I wasn't making any videos, but I was doing a whole lot of other things. And one of the things that I realized was that there was a lot of trickery, fake intel providers, a lot of people lying and stuff as far as to get people to follow them and to get people to send them your dinars as well. And there's a lot of that still going on today. And that's why I say the Dinar community still hasn't learned its lesson. And especially dealing with this Dinar RV. Yes, there were some banks that failed. Just because the banks failed doesn't mean that the Dinar RV is right around the corner. And if you understand what's going on with the banks, they don't have liquidity for the deposits that are in there. So for those of you who are listening to people who are calling the Dinar RV like this week, next week, and so forth, after Ramadan and all that, you have to understand that there's a liquidity crisis going on right now. And so if you want your dinar to revalue early, you're going to end up losing your investments. So the dinar is not going to revalue anytime soon. It might not even revalue this year. It might revalue next year. I've been hearing the same thing since 2009, folks. The only difference is for me is I look at things spiritually and the things through dreams and visions and so forth, and through other intel that's not provided in the Dinar community. I pretty much know that the events surrounding the Dinar revaluation is not going to be good. The world economic system is going to be crashing politically, militarily. There are going to be other issues that are going on during the Dinar RV. The Dinar will help set the world back on the right path, right? So there's going to be a time period where there's going to be a lot of wealth generated from the Dinar RV, and that's not going to happen right now. And, you know, I do know that the dinar is going to change in value. I've heard Iraq politicians, banking, and government officials said that they're going to change the value of the dinar at some point, anywhere from $1 to the restored rate of $3.22. And so I'm seeing a lot of this same fake intel stuff, and people are still sending off the dinars to non-SEC registered financial advisor groups, right? These are people that are promising you a better return, and they are not registered with the government as a financial advisor group. So, and part of this has to deal with greed, right? Because if we have shared with you time and time again that they want to restore it to $3.22, and then you have these groups saying, well, we can get you $3.25 or we can get you $3.30, right? And they're not even a registered official financial advisor group. That means that they are actually breaking the law in that, because they are claiming to be able to work on your behalf as far as your investment. So, and because of greed, people have already lost out, right? If you remember the video that I did on dinar gurus getting arrested because the people were sending their dinars, you actually had people coming to your house and you gave them dinars. They actually picked the dinars up from your house. These are some of the people that have gotten arrested, right? It just blows my mind that you would even think like that. So that's why I keep trying to say, to try to keep people out of those situations, just hold on to your dinar. Now, if you are one of those people that have sent your money off to one of these financial groups that's not registered, then you need to ask for your dinars back. And if they don't want to give you your dinars back, then tell them that you will file a complaint with the SEC, right? Because I'm telling you, when the dinar revaluation happens, there's going to be this great cry. There's going to be so many people who sent off all their dinars because they were hoping to get an extra 5 or 10 cents per dinar, and they're going to end up losing everything. So if I were you and you're one of those people that sent all your dinars off, I would count that as a loss and start buying more dinars, and then in the process ask for your dinars back. And if they don't want to, then you just tell them you'll file the complaint. And if you still don't get your dinars back, then you'll have to go through filing the complaint. And they really don't want the SEC coming down in any of these chat groups, any of these websites that have been promoting these people to send in their dinars to these people. And that's going to be the other thing that's going to happen, that when the dinar revaluation takes place, when people start filing complaints with the SEC and law enforcement, you know what they're going to be doing? They're going to be going into these chat rooms. They're going to be going to see who are the owners of these chat rooms, who are the owners of these dinar news websites, and so forth. And now, folks, keep in mind, I've been seeing this stuff since 2009. And after 2014 was when I said, you know what? I'm tired of listening to these knuckleheads. The largest, and I'm not sure if it's still the largest, at least at the time was, the largest community within the dinar community, was all started by a guy who claimed that the Kuwaiti RV took place. And he wasn't even 18 years old and claimed to be a part of all of that. I shared with you guys, I went back to the official U.S. Department of Treasury, and we looked at all the rates for those years for the Kuwait, where they claimed the Kuwaiti RV happened. And I shared with you that it didn't even move in price, and actually it was frozen for a period of time. The only thing that happened is that they exchanged their old Kuwaiti dinars for their new ones. So if there is anybody that is sharing with you that the Kuwaiti RV happened, they are lying to you. And, the dinar community, I'm still seeing that they're still falling for the fake intel providers, the ones that are telling you every year, every budget, every law, they got their contacts. They got their contacts that say the banks on the back end screens are showing an RV rate. You people need to stay away from people who share that information. It actually needs to be called out, because I've been hearing that since 2009. I can't tell you how many times over the years where I've seen people follow these people that are saying that. I mean, you even have YouTubers who got their channels started by lying about the RV is getting ready to happen. Then they share with you old currencies and make it seem like it's a new currency. And that's how they keep it going. But people keep falling for it. And some of these people, the whole thing with the redemption centers, people are still falling for that. When's the 800 numbers going to come out? If the 800 numbers were going to come out at any moment, then I guess there's a whole bunch of people sitting around in a call center waiting for the dinar RV to happen. That makes absolutely no sense, and people are still falling for it. It's just like the Nasara. Anybody who talks about Nasara, if they don't know, If they've never did the research, but they're telling you all these different things, they have no clue, and some of them are even lying to you about it, because I got into Nasara before I got into the dinar because I was studying the subject of UFOs. And Nasara, when you go back, and I had to do this, and I actually made several videos about this, and I went back and I looked at the original Nasara proposal, which was in the 90s. Didn't have anything to do with the global currency reset. Didn't have anything to do with UFOs or medbeds or mass arrest or anything like that at all whatsoever. It's all about a tax structural change that would have benefited the people. It turned into UFOs, disclosure, Dinar RV, medbeds, and all this craziness that was added onto it. But yet people still follow that. If I see Nasara in a title of somebody talking about the dinar, I don't even listen to it. If they're going to talk about it, and I already know it's based off of a lie, then there's no point in me even listening. They cannot provide me any more information that I don't already know. And so that's why I say there's going to be a great cry, because many people have been waiting for years. And you're sitting there at home listening to these conference calls, knowing that you have all of your dinars in the hands of somebody else. If you have sent your dinar off to one of these groups, just simply ask for it back. Don't send off your dinars or believe in these people based off of an extra few cents. So when it comes to the Iraqi dinar central bank digital currency, all central banks are basically working on one. So we know it's coming, right? We officially got that announcement, so we know it's coming. And I think it's going to be, it might very well be in conjunction, the Dinar RV will be in conjunction with launching the central bank digital currency. And so that's why I say you could even see it go more than $3, because, you know, the whole point of the central bank launching digital currency is to compete with crypto. So why would I invest in a central bank digital currency if it's just going to stay at the same rate all the time and it never changes, right? Or there's barely any change. So when the Dinar RV happens, folks, don't listen to any of the instructions about 1-800 numbers, about redemption centers. You're going to wait to see what your bank says. The banks that you belong to, the banks that are in your city, right? Some of you may belong to a smaller bank, but you might have to go to Bank of America to exchange your dinar, right? Because your smaller bank might not be able to, right? So that just all remains to be seen. But the banks are going to be giving people instructions, because it's just going to come out of the blue. It'll be nothing, 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 and then sudden change. And when that sudden change happens, the banks will be like, okay, we're not going to be able to handle all these people coming in, right? So we need to give people instructions. And during that time period, you're going to have people saying, call this 800 number. And you're going to go to the redemption center and all this stuff. Man, these scams are going to be so massive the week of the RV, within a week. So if it revalues on a Tuesday, for that whole next week, there's going to be so many scammers scamming people out of their dinar. And some of those people who may have even bought off of eBay are going to be disappointed, because some of those dinars are actually fake dinars, right? It's not that hard to create fake money. And I know that there might be some reputable people on eBay that do sell dinars, but I would rather just go with an online currency exchange and deal with that than as opposed to paying for them on eBay. So when the Dinar RV happens, folks, the world economically is going to be in a bad position. Politically and militarily, it's going to be in a bad position. You see what's going on with Ukraine. You see what's going on with China. Do not be surprised, folks, that you're going to see this miniature world war take place before we see the Dinar RV. We have the central banks launching, many countries launching their central bank digital coin this year. The Fed now launches in the summer this year. So we are very, very close to the Dinar RV. Not sure if it's going to happen this year. But if Iraq launches their central bank digital coin this year, I believe that that's when we're also going to see an RV, but there's going to be a lot of things going on in the world. It's going to make it seem like the world is at the end, right? And then the dinar revaluation is going to take place. and countries are going to be able to start rebuilding again. And that we who hold dinar will be that help and that provision that God originally set forth for us to be, will be that provision for a lot of people around the world. So anyways, folks, that's all I have to share for this today. I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.